Happy Broadside Day 433. Woo! It's a little wild. It's closing in on 3 inches. We'll just keep it under wraps. So get this. I've been buying cans of wasp and hornet spray by Raid for the better part of decades, right? Longhorn cattle. God, that's got to be annoying. Imagine being a longhorn cattle and then looking at another cow and being like, I ain't got nothing to defend myself from. I'm in a pen eating grass all day, but I carry this crap around. Those cows are over there. Anyway, yeah, so Raid, I've been buying that stuff forever. And I usually keep 2 or 3 cans because in the spring, I have to remind all the wasps in the community that they don't live there. In fact, I checked with the bank. I said, who's on the deed? And they said, John Q. Wasp is not paying my mortgage. So they don't get to live under my covered patio where they so love to build their little paper nests. So I kill those things. Well, I tried washing this hat and apparently it's just falling apart. Damn it. Anyway, my problem with this is the fact that the can says 25% more now, and all. And it's like the can's been the same damn size for 20 some years. As far back as I can remember. As far back as I can remember, I've always wanted to be a gangster. No, that has nothing to do with Ray Liotta. But no, so why don't they just recognize the fact that we as people understand what size the can is? Nobody cares it has 25% more. And just like, how long do you, like, that's like Chevrolet coming out with a new car and being like, now with 20 more horsepower, and then never changing it again. 30 years later, it's still got 380 horsepower. And then still advertising now with 20. We get it, man. We know what the damn base horsepower, we know how big the Raid can is, okay? Just take that little yellow strip off the top that says now 25% more and just assume that we understand that because we're not idiots. Yesterday, oddly enough, it was on this road. I'm riding out through the country and I'm at this stretch of the road where I can see like a mile down the road, and it's just straight as an arrow, double yellow line the entire way. And I can see the double yellow line all the way to where I can't see anymore, right? And then I ride by, and right in the middle of this stretch of pass is a sign that the state in all its infinite wisdom has put up. It says, do not pass. And I thought to myself, what a complete waste of government funds. Those signs these days have got to cost $100, $125 at least to put up, to make them, manufacture them. And it's just odd that they would put a do not pass sign when that's what the double yellow line is supposed to be telling me. I don't get that. It's just a complete waste of time. And much like the Raid can, it insults everyone's intelligence. I stopped and let someone get out and go to a Jimmy John's the other day. And before I could put the parking brake on, they were back in the car, and I'm like, damn, here's the problem, okay? Jimmy John's needs a drive-through, first of all. Nobody needs to be able to go, because here's the thing with Jimmy John's. People are like, I love some Jimmy John's. They're so fast. I could be eating in like 2 minutes from now, and they're still like 3 miles away. But they're like, I just don't want to get out of my car and go. They need a drive-through. More people go through drive-throughs these days. It's just what we've become. And Jimmy John's would revolutionize the drive-through game, right? So if you're asking me what the hell I'm talking about, the question I'm posing to you is, how do you make the quintessential fast food restaurant? Well, you take a little bit of this and a little bit of that, right? You steal from what others have done well. You take Jimmy John's speed. Those dudes can put a sandwich together faster than, Hardee's can make a biscuit, and it's arguably the same amount of components, really, and you could argue that Jimmy John's a little bit more difficult because they got to slather on mayonnaise or mustard or whatever, whereas a biscuit's just cheese and an egg and meat and 2 biscuits that, you got to slice the biscuit. Maybe there's that. But still, you take Jimmy John's speed, right? You throw in a drive-through, and then you just use Chick-fil-A's demeanor, like the nice, have a nice day, or whatever the hell they say. Glad to serve you, pleased to speak with you. What do they say? It's something stupid. And they all have to say it. They probably say it in their sleep. God, they're probably like having sex with their wife, and they're like, pleased to meet you, or whatever they have. What does Chick-fil-A say? Glad to serve you. Happy I could do it. What is it? I've been to Chick-fil-A many times, and for some reason I can't recall. Here's your order. Thank you. My pleasure. It's my pleasure, right? They probably say my pleasure to their their wife. They're like banging their wife, and she's like, "Oh, that's so good," and you're like, "That's my pleasure." You wouldn't say that, so you got to take out the demonstrative pronoun. You got to just say my pleasure. Anyway, I don't understand how like a restaurant, like let's say there's an Arby's, across the street from a Bojang or from a Chick-fil-A. I don't know how they don't look at the Chick-fil-A and go, I just don't understand. What are we doing wrong? Why do they got 400 cars and we're over here, making one roast beef sandwich every 74 minutes? It's plainly obvious. You aren't nice to the people. You act like, and you hire the wrong people. You got like ex-cons in there. Chick-fil-A, ain't nobody ever done time has worked at a Chick-fil-A. They've all got merit badges, you know what I mean? And that's part of it, man. Like you go up, ain't nobody gonna spit in your food, because if they do, the Lord Christ will come down and smote them right there in the Chick-fil-A restaurant. You'll be like, how dare you spit on the Lord's chicken and serve it to this nice plebeian and serf who's rolled through your line. It's just one of those days. I had several things I wanted to say, and I'm just rambling on about, I don't even know. But anyway, you make a restaurant, the speed and the nicety and the surety that Chick-fil-A gives you, coupled with the speed of the Johns. And I'm gonna tell you what, man, I don't know where Jimmy John, you talk about Lord's chicken, Lord's bread is what that is, because Jimmy John's bread, they should just open a Jimmy John's bakery and just let us buy that damn bread. Well, of course, if they did that, we'd never go back to the restaurant again, because it'd be like, I can shred lettuce myself and put some boar's head meat on a bread, but this bread I can't replicate. I can't replicate the bread. I got a shirt that says that. I can't replicate the bread. I never wear it though. It would go good with this ugly hat though. You get it?